If you work in tech, especially anywhere near Microsoft 365, you know the updates just never stop, right? It feels like keeping up is, well, practically a job in itself.
Oh, absolutely. It
Yeah.
really can be. I mean, the tools we use every day, they're constantly changing and figuring out what's new, what's different, maybe what's going away.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crucial.
exactly. And that's why we grab this stack of sources,
Yeah.
articles, the official release notes, all that good stuff, and really try to dive in deep. Today, we're zoning in on the May 2025 updates, specifically looking at SharePoint and, well, all the related bits and pieces.
Yeah, and our mission here isn't just to read off a list. We really want to unpack these changes for you. Try and pull out what's actually useful, what's interesting, whether you're, building pages every day or you're the admin keeping it all running.
It's a real mix this month, actually. Some really nice user-facing stuff that should make life easier, and then some pretty significant behind-the-scenes admin changes you'll definitely need to be aware of. Okay, let's get into it then.
Right, let's maybe start with a couple of things that the sources flagged right at the top, real attention grabbers. First one is a visual boost for content folks. 50 new page templates for modern SharePoint.
50, wow, that's quite a few. The sources actually called them way more practical. What's the goal there?
Well, it's really about making content creation smoother, and helping keep things looking consistent across different sites, even if you're not a designer. Think of it like giving people a much better, richer starting point for building pages that look good and actually work well.
That makes a lot of sense. Easier for the users, better for consistency. Okay, and for the admins listening, what do they need to do? Anything to switch these on?
Good question.
Yeah.
And actually, this is good news. No admin action needed for the rollout. These templates should just start appearing as options. But, probably a good idea to let your users know this bigger gallery is there. Just a heads up.
Got it. So more tools arrive, but tell people about the magic. Okay, what else was a headline item?
This next one taps right into the AI trend, a new dynamic web part. It's specifically for FAQs, and it's powered by Copilot.
An AI-powered FAQ. Interesting. What makes it dynamic? How does that work?
So the basic idea is to keep your FAQ content fresh, kind of automatically updated, uses AI agents, and you ground them in specific data, maybe your site content, other knowledge bases you approve, and it curates and updates the answers.
And I saw something about a human-in-the-loop approach. That sounds important for, making sure the AI doesn't go off the rails on a public FAQ. Quality control.
Precisely. It means there's a way to review or oversee the answers, make sure they're trustworthy. This is slated for around June 2025. Big requirement, though.
Yeah.
You need both SharePoint and Microsoft 365 Copilot licenses for this one.
Okay.
Like the templates, it rolls out automatically, but anyone managing FAQ should probably know this is coming.
Right, so smarter templates for creation, smarter FAQs for delivery. The sources also mentioned some really practical updates for OneDrive too. Let's talk files for a second.
Yeah, a simple one, but honestly probably super useful for a lot of people. Export as PDF right inside OneDrive.
Oh, that's handy. So how does that work exactly?
So starting mid-May 2025, if you're looking at a Word, Excel, or PowerPoint file in OneDrive, you'll just see an option, like in the three-dot menu or the command bar, to convert it and save it straight out as a PDF.
Nice. That definitely saves opening the whole app just to print to PDF. Does it handle security, like permissions and stuff?
It does, yeah. The sources confirm it respects all the existing permissions and any information rights management IRM settings on the original file. And again, this just rolls out, no admin setup needed.
Okay, sticking with PDFs,
Yeah.
there's something about watermarks too.
Yes. This is coming to both OneDrive and SharePoint. Probably around mid-June 2025. You'll be able to add text or image watermarks directly onto PDF files. And you get some control, position, formatting, how transparent it is, that kind of thing.
So you can mark things draft or confidential visually right there.
Yeah.
Okay, and once they're on, can people just remove them easily?
The sources say that once they're applied this way, they're visible, obviously, but not easy to just edit out using standard PDF tools. So reasonably persistent. And again, this feature just shows up. No admin work needed.
And for those really long PDFs, getting around them is getting easier too.
Definitely. If a PDF has a table of contents, maybe generated from headings in Word or whatever, SharePoint, and OneDrive will actually display it now, lets you jump straight to sections.
That's a great little usability improvement, especially for like long reports or manuals.
Absolutely. This one rolls out between mid-June and early July 2025. It's on by default, no action needed. But yeah, a good tip to share with users who deal with those big structured docs.
Okay, moving slightly away from just PDFs, document translation support is getting wider.
Right, yeah. The translation service in SharePoint Online is adding support for a bunch more file types. Things like .xlf, .tsv, .adt, .mht, a few others.
Why the specific ones? Is there a particular reason? Well, it brings SharePoint's capabilities more in line with the main Azure document translation service. And it enables some specific scenarios, like the sources mentioned translating e-learning content easily, or localization files that maybe come out of specialized tools in that .xlf format. So it's kind of targeting those enterprise needs where you have diverse content types.
Got it. Important for companies with complex translation workflows. And speaking of content, the sources also mentioned stream interactivity features again.
Yeah, the ability to pop surveys, polls, quizzes into a stream video at specific points. The sources included it in this May roundup, but noted it was actually targeted way back in December 2023 and hit GA, general availability, in April 2024. So chances are you might already have this, but worth mentioning as part of the toolkit, no action needed.
Makes sense, yeah. Good reminder if people missed it. And still on presenting info, the dashboard web part is opening up. Correct. As of late May 2025, that dashboard web part, the one that pulls in actionable info from different places, it's now available for all site types. So standard team sites, communication sites, not just those specialized ones it was alluded to before.
Oh, that really broadens where you can surface key info or tasks on a page, and it's just available by default.
Yep, on by default, no admin action. But for site owners, definitely a useful new thing to consider adding to their pages. Might need to update some internal guides or comms about it.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Thinking about content owners tracking performance. Updates to page analytics for SharePoint News.
Yeah, this looks like a pretty solid upgrade for understanding how your news is landing. Rolls out late May 2025. You get things like long-term data retention, a breakdown showing where people viewed it, like did they see it in email or Teams or the site itself, plus new metrics, export options, better audience calculation, and the whole analytics interface is getting a facelift too.
That sounds much more useful for actually measuring internal comms impact, and this just appears, no setup.
Exactly. No admin work required. If you have permission to see news analytics, you'll just get the enhanced version.
Now let's circle back to Copilot. It keeps popping up. Beyond the FAQ thing, where else is it showing up?
So specifically for GCC environments, Government Community Cloud, there are new ways to add images using Copilot, right within Word and PowerPoint.
How does that work? Copilot helps find pictures.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Users in GCC will be able to grab licensed stock images or generate AI images or, and this is neat, pull approved brand images straight from their SharePoint organization asset library, all through the Copilot chat or interface.
Aha, that's clever. Bringing the resources right into the workflow, especially getting those official brand assets easily, keeps things compliant.
Right, and still on Copilot, but more for the admins. Deploying custom agents to SharePoint using Microsoft Copilot Studio. That hit general availability on May 20th, 2025.
That feels like a pretty big deal for extending Copilot. So organizations can build their own custom bots or agents that talk to internal systems or data right within SharePoint.
Exactly. It really opens up the potential for more tailored automation and AI assistance using your own business logic and data.
Okay, let's pull back the curtain now and look at updates mainly for the admins, the folks who keep the lights on. Some really critical stuff here, starting with a big change to the public CDN.
Yes, this is definitely one to flag. If you manage network stuff, pay attention. Microsoft is migrating the SharePoint Online public CDN infrastructure, moving it to a new service, Microsoft Azure Front Door.
Okay, and when's this happening?
It starts in June 2025, and they expect it to be done by July 2025.
So, like right now, basically, what do admins need to do?
Okay, the crucial part, you must add the new domain, which is public-cdn.sharepointonline.com, to your network allow lists. Firewalls, proxies, whatever you use. Also, if you've ever hard-coded the old CDN URLs anywhere in custom code, you need to update those. Though Microsoft really recommends just using the standard APIs which handle this redirect automatically.
Right. And do you remove the old domain from the allow list?
No, that's key. You need to keep allowing the old domain as well during the transition, which runs through July 2025. The sources stress no action is needed before June starts, but you need to be ready to make that allow list change pretty much as soon as June hits. Otherwise, yeah, your SharePoint sites might not load resources correctly.
Oof, okay. That sounds like a top priority for the June checklist. Right, moving over to Microsoft Purview, the compliance side. A couple of updates impacting SharePoint and OneDrive there.
First one, Purview Data Security Posture Management for AI. It's getting support for OneDrive risk assessments.
What does that actually let admins do?
It means they can set up custom checks within Purview, specifically looking for data risks inside OneDrive accounts. It's especially relevant for, AI scenarios where sensitive data might be stored or used. Yeah. Public preview for this started mid-May 2025, and GA, general availability, is planned for mid-June 2025.
So better visibility into potential data risks in OneDrive, especially around AI, and this just shows up. No action needed.
Correct. The capability just rolls out.
Okay. Also in Purview, something about data loss prevention, DLP.
Yes, DLP is getting support for administrative units, specifically for SharePoint Online. This was a preview late April 2025, and GA is set for mid-June 2025.
Managing DLP by admin unit. What does that mean practically?
It allows you to scope your DLP policies to specific admin units you've defined in Azure AD, or Entra ID now, I guess. So more targeted compliance based on how your org is structured. The sources do note that initially only the all sites option is fully supported by default when you configure these policies by admin unit, but it's, laying the groundwork for more granular control later. No action needed before it rolls out.
Okay, good to see that kind of targeted control coming. Now for admins managing Copilot stuff, new place to find usage data.
SharePoint agents trial usage data. It's now showing up in the Microsoft Admin Center, specifically in the Copilot Admin Center section.
Makes sense. Keep all the Copilot admin things together. And speaking of usage, the main M365 Admin Center is getting better SharePoint storage info.
That's right. Rolling out mid-May 2025, but not for education tenants. The usage reports area will get a new storage tab. Should give deeper insights into quota usage, maybe even offer some recommendations on managing storage better.
That could be really helpful for planning and finding storage hogs. No admin action for that either.
Nope. And for orgs, thinking about chargeback for things like those SharePoint agents we mentioned, there's a change in how they can be billed.
Like moving away from just a single tenant cost.
Exactly. Starting June 2025, you can onboard SharePoint agents using a pay-as-you-go model. This makes departmental chargeback possible.
How does an admin set that up? Is it complicated?
Well, the steps involve turning off the old tenant-level billing for the agents, then creating new billing policies in the Copilot control system and linking those policies to the agents. So, yeah, a bit of setup, but it allows for that internal cost allocation.
Okay. Moving from billing to people leaving, employee offboarding, enhancements to make transferring OneDrive files easier.
Yes, this sounds like a workflow improvement many IT folks will like. The sources mention things like more obvious account cleanup emails, new filters so managers can actually find key files easier when someone leaves, and an improved move and keep sharing feature that now handles bulk transfers better, with fewer notifications flooding everyone.
That sounds way more efficient for offboarding, making sure data is safe, transferred properly, keeping compliance happy. Yeah, good stuff.
Definitely practical. Another handy admin tool they highlighted is an improved SharePoint permissions report for a specific user.
Oh, where's that found?
Under Data Access Governance in the SharePoint Admin Center. The powerful part is it gives you a really detailed list of sites a user has access to, direct permissions, indirect ones, and the level. Site, library, folder, even down to the file level.
Wow. Getting that kind of granular view for one user across everything sounds super useful for audits, troubleshooting, or security checks.
It's definitely a key tool for understanding who can actually access what. And circling back to Copilot one more time, there's a pretty big licensing change.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Microsoft 365 Copilot licenses now automatically include SharePoint Advanced Management capabilities.
Whoa, hang on. That's significant. Those were separate licenses before, right? Quite expensive ones.
Exactly. Features like site lifecycle management, secure collaboration policies, data access governance reports. They're now bundled in globally if you have a Copilot license. The sources strongly recommend admins do a few things now. Run the oversharing baseline report using PowerShell to see where you stand, review your current advanced management settings, and maybe most importantly, tell your admin team they now have these tools if they're licensed for Copilot.
That really changes the value proposition, giving advanced governance tools as part of the AI package. Okay, finally, let's wrap up with a couple of retirements that are on the horizon.
First one is the retirement of the old SharePoint Online Record Center site features.
Okay, why is that going away?
It's really about Microsoft consolidating things into Purview. The sources explain that Purview data lifecycle management and records management provide a much more flexible, scalable, and integrated way to handle retention and deletion across all of M365, not just in one specific site type. It's pushing people towards that central purview approach.
Right, makes sense strategically. What's the other big retirement?
This one hits a real classic, a feature lots of people have used for years, SharePoint alerts.
No way, SharePoint alerts are going. When?
Yeah. Key dates from the sources. Gradual phase-out starts July 2025, and they'll be completely gone by July 2026.
Okay, so admins have roughly a year to figure things out. What's the alternative? What should people move to?
The recommendation is to shift those notification needs over to Power Automate or use the newer SharePoint rules feature. And, crucially, update any internal training guides or support docs that mention the old alerts. You've got some time, but yeah, planning that move sooner rather than later is...
Wow, okay. We've covered a huge amount in this deep dive. Everything from, cool user stuff like 50 new templates and AI FAQs, all the way to critical admin tasks like that CDN migration and major retirements like alerts and the record center.
Yeah, these sources really give you a full picture of just how much SharePoint and everything around it is constantly evolving. It's definitely not a static platform. It's always being tweaked, refined, expanded.
And trying to understand these changes is just key to actually getting the most out of the tools you're using every single day, which kind of leaves us with a question for you, the listener, to mull over. How does this increasing weave of AI, whether it's directly powering features like those FAQs or indirectly unlocking things like those advanced management capabilities through licensing, how does that fundamentally change your relationship with these tools and maybe your whole strategy for managing information?
Or maybe just, given how fast things are changing, what's your strategy? Personally or for your organization, how do you effectively stay informed and ready for whatever's coming next with the tools you depend on? Something to think about until our next deep dive.